Hello everyone, it is I, Train Guy Rye, and today I'm going to be showing you how I built my Edward the Blue Engine prop replica. Before I get into the process, I would like to highly thank Covey for basically designing the CAD and for supplying measurements, Noah for building Edward's body and tender body, Sean O'Connor for supplying Edward's happy face, Jamos Tranos for designing most of the 3D printed parts used in this project, ZANTHERA, I think I'm saying that correctly, for designing Edward's front buffer beam, and Ricky and Lewis of Thomas Tank Merch for supplying Edward's angry face. They also own Edward's original Perspex model, which is really cool. Go check their Twitter account out. Edward started off at Noah's house as his prop replica, due to mine still being in development. But, due to some inconveniences and frustration, Noah abandoned the project and sent it to me. When Edward arrived at my house, the model was in a complete mess. The paint was extremely chunky and it took many hours of sanding just to get the body shell smooth enough to primer it. Taking a break from the body shell, I worked on the buffers, sanding down the buffer heads to fit into the buffer beams and starting to test fit them to the tender and front. After a few days of sanding, it was time to start painting. Edward's tender, being the smoothest, was painted first. This turned out successfully and started to paint the buffer beams and start lining the tender. It was time to give Edward a new footplate due to my footplate having incorrect measurements. It was measured out and cut out with sheets of styrene. With the buffer beam now fitted, it was time to start painting the body shell. The cabin splashers were painted first, with lining coming after that. With another quick spray of primer and a sand down with another dose of primer, Edward's body shell was painted, lined, and the footplate painted as well, with the buffer heads following suit. Edward's body shell remained in this condition for a week or so until the couplings I had just bought arrived. They were sanded down and fitted to the body shell and tender. This is when the model started to come alive. Not long after, Edward's handrail knobs arrived. They were sanded down in the base and fitted to the body shell, and they fit snugly. Edward's body shell sat for another week or so until 3D printed parts for the chassis from Green's Trains arrived. Edward's chassis block was fitted with the driving wheels attached with plastic axles for the time being until I can get brass or metal axles. Here's a video of the chassis rolling freely.
Last night they said I have black wheels. I haven't, have I, sir?
A thicker brass tube was purchased to connect the bogie wheel to the chassis block. After installing and gluing it down, the bogie was connected and ran smoothly. The body half section of the wheels were painted blue and fitted back to the model. The tender wheels were also fitted to the tender, but they weren't painted at this current stage. The model was running smoothly aside from the side rods not being attached, so it was time for the tender wheels to get their coat of blue and the axle boxes fitted. I do not have photos of this stage, but the wheel rims were painted in tester silver paint. A drawbar for the model was constructed using styrene and fitted with brass tube from the model and tender. Lamp irons were constructed with wire with paper wrapped around the base. To give the model more life, I decided to construct a name board. It was made out of styrene and matchsticks. Tender stairs were simply crafted using strips of styrene. Not long after completing the tender, Edward's face cast from Thomas Tank merch arrived. It was painted and went through various different pupil sizes. Along with Edward's face arrived the servos for his eye mechanism. The iMac is going to take a while to finish, but other than that, Edward was done. All that was needed was the brake pipes. Once those were fitted, the model was done. This is by far one of my favorite models that I've made to date, and I'm extremely proud of it. Thank you so much to all of the modelers who helped along this journey. Hey, this is post Train Guy Rye. I forgot to credit Wyatt or Lead Rails. Sorry I didn't put you in the credits at the beginning of the video. I just finished editing when I remembered to put this in, so yeah, my bad.